All right. Welcome to another Wellbeing Wednesday. This month we are focusing on financial fitness, and today we have Holly with us. Holly, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
My name's Molly Buenrostro. I'm here with Garcia Wealth Management in Conway, Arkansas. Um, just a little bit of background. I'm originally from South Arkansas, so Monticello area, but been in Central Arkansas for going on 3 years now. And with Gratis Wealth Management, we are a comprehensive financial planning firm. We're a team of about six advisors, seven or eight team members who really just help make sure we go around. But I always like to share the reason why we're called Gratis Wealth Management. It's the Latin word for grateful. And we like to say around here, we can't want more until we're grateful for what we have. So um, we're just highly rooted in gratitude and thankfulness and enjoy meeting with clients who feel the same way.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. So today I'm really excited because we have some really good questions for Molly that are going to help strengthen our financial fitness over the holidays. So we'll get started and I'll just start asking you some questions, Molly, and then you can answer them however you see fit with your expertise. The first one is, what is one thing people can do this holiday season to keep spending and debt down?
Yeah, the number one thing is going to be just having a budget. I know it's the beginning of December. People probably have already started gift shopping, but it's never too late to sit down and just put a budget together. So just having those expectations from the very beginning. Um, Lists are going to be your best friend. So just knowing like, okay, who do I have to buy for and setting a budget for each person. But also, I know there's a lot of expenses outside of just gifting in the month of December. So travel and maybe grocery expenses. So just really figuring out what you need, having a list, and having a budget around that. That's going to be number one, and hopefully can help keep you from having to put on a credit card or something like that if we already know our allocated budget for those things.
Yeah. I love that you say that because we often talk about meeting people and friends and family like where they are. And so I love that you're saying that because that's kind of telling us, okay, this is where we are. And then so we want to be within our means. And I love that you brought up list. I really like lists.
Yes, and I'll add to that too. I know it can always be tempting when we're in stores to buy new holiday decor. So I would just suggest if you already have decorations, try not to fall for the new things that are out. And if you're wanting new things for next year, waiting until after Christmas and grabbing a few things that are on sale that maybe you kept seeing every time you went in the store. And if you still really want it, buy it on sale for next year.
Great idea. Thank you. So the next question, what are some practical ways to set and stick to the holiday budget that you were just talking about without feeling deprived?
Yeah. So again, it's going to go back to that list making. Um, and also, I know we live in a world where we do a lot of online shopping, but if you're shopping locally or in person, pull out the cash that you have
Okay.
budgeted for gifting or groceries or whatever it is that you're shopping for that you've budgeted for. Pull out just the enough cash that you've set aside for that so you know, okay, this is what I had to spend, and when it's gone, it's gone. Or if you're doing online shopping, a good idea would just be to buy like a Visa gift card and load the amount that you have budgeted for it on that gift card. And that way you're not overspending when you're doing online shopping.
Okay. That's a very interesting thought about the cash because once it's no longer in your hands, that, lets you know, okay, we're finished.
Yeah.
So another question, can you share any tips for navigating holiday sales without overspending?
um, Running theme. I think just going into the store or browsing on the web with what you already are looking for in mind. A lot of times things might pop up that are seemingly good deals, but it wasn't necessarily on our radar before. So just sticking to things that maybe you're spoiling yourself. There's something that has gone on sale that you've been wanting. Okay, that's great. Go ahead and take advantage of that sale. Or if you're buying gifts, toys, whatever it is that are on sale, you were already planning on buying that. Take advantage of it, but try not to go down the rabbit hole of this random thing that you've never seen before is on sale. So you're going to buy it. So just sticking to um, what you were already planning on buying, and then you can just take advantage of the sales that are out there. I know a lot of them just passed for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, but I think you can probably still find some good deals between now and the end of the year.
Yeah. Also, sometimes I think when we're scrolling, kind of you and I, you can kind of get stuck in that, you know? So you're right. If it's not something that you were already looking to purchase or looking to buy for someone, that does make sense that it could just kind of catch you. And then that's that impulse purchasing that
Yes.
kind of messes us up sometimes.
And I think if you just realize like that's what these websites are wanting you to do, they're geared toward making sales. So I like to tell myself I'm not going to fall for their traps, and so then I feel like I'm winning because I'm not gonna let them get me.
Yeah, no, I love that because even sometimes Amazon will do that to you. You know, you'll
Amazon's the
see even
worst.
some of those Black Friday sales. I got a few friends from a few texts from friends that said, "Hey, this was less expensive last week. Just want to let you guys know."
Yes,
And so we're
yes,
all just trying to help each other out.
yes, for sure.
Yeah, I think see, you just got to be careful of those. My son calls them scams, and I'm like, well, I mean, it is more expensive. They're not necessarily scamming you, but they're not stealing your identity. But in a way, I do see where that can be something because it hooks you. So I do
Mhm.
understand.
Yes.
So this is a really good one, and you kind of hit on this a little bit earlier. But how can people responsibly use credit cards during the holidays to avoid accumulating debt?
Yes. So another thing I see, this is all year round, but if you go in a department store or even a lot of stores around will ask you, hey, do you want to sign up for our store credit card and you'll save this much today? I would advise not to fall into that trap at just any store. Um, Really, the only time those are worth it is if it's a store that you shop at regularly, and then you maybe can use points that are smart. But if you're applying for credit cards for every store that you go in, you're opening up a bunch of credit accounts that then open the door to forget payments or rack up extra spending that maybe we shouldn't have. And on those cards, usually they have really high interest after 6 months. And so usually it's not in the best interest to save the 15% one time if you're opening a bunch of those accounts. So staying away from that. Um, but if you want to be strategic and you're disciplined and feel comfortable using your credit card, rather than just doing a Visa gift card, you can use a credit card that Discover's a good one. They give good cash back.
Mhm.
But and that would be a good way to track your budget spending. You can watch how much you're putting on that, see all the transactions, and then once you hit, if your gifting budget was just $500, once you put $500 on that credit card, then you know, okay, I'm done, and just go ahead and pay that off.
Yeah,
Uh,
that is a great way to keep up with it.
mhm. And I think even after the holiday season, if you're wanting to take advantage of some of the perks that credit cards have, just knowing your discretionary weekly or monthly budget for eating out or shopping or activities, and monitoring how much you're spending and knowing when to stop, and then making sure that's paid off, um, whether it's every week or every 2 weeks, just making sure that you're not carrying a balance forward is a
Mhm.
way to take advantage of it, but not fall into the credit card debt hole.
Yeah. So I love that you said that too, because it made me think of a question. I've heard different things. Do you encourage paying off your credit card once a month or twice a month? And I know that's just a random question that I threw in
Yes.
here, but I just think it's such a good question. I would love your expertise on that.
Yeah. So really, as long as you're paying it off, you have your due date, which is also, there's a lot of things that go into credit cards and credit scores, but if you're paying off, I would say before your due date, the better it will be. It doesn't matter if you're doing it once or twice, as long as the full statement balance is paid off and you're not carrying that forward month to month.
Sure. So is at the end of that period, whenever before that statement is due, as long as you have a zero balance, you're good. Like
Yeah.
it's going to affect your credit positively.
Right. So, example, if your credit card payment due date is December 12th or the 12th of every month, I would set a reminder or set up auto pay on maybe the 9th or 10th,
Mm.
just so you know this is done. It'll be processed ahead of time by my due date. They like that. And just another fun fact about credit cards, say you have a $5,000 credit limit, really, they don't want to see you have more than 30% of that balance on your credit card.
Oh,
So it's
good to
kind of
know.
a false credit limit because it's not necessarily going to hurt you if you go up to the full five, but it's going to be more beneficial for you to stay around that 30 or under percent of that credit limit.
Oh, because you're wanting to have more available credit. So that's going to look better if you have. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That is such a great tactic. Very good to know. So the next question, are there any specific red flags to watch for when it comes to holiday credit card spending? I know we keep talking about this credit card, but I just really feel like this is a way that a lot of people can get themselves into debt so easily just because you just pull that little card out and stick the chip in. And so any additional tips on this is so helpful.
Yeah, I think that goes hand in hand with the strategy around it. Just don't fall for all of the department store credit cards, um, because really, if you take into account the interest that it could accrue, the 20% they're saying you'll save today is really gonna not be saved later if you continue to have a balance and start accruing those high interest yields. Also, there's usually lower credit limits on those, and so then you're probably likely to pass that 30% that I was talking about.
Mhm.
So I would say if you're going to use a credit card for holiday spending, stick to one and have it more of a generic like Discover or Capital One or something like that, not a department store card. um, and make sure you're tracking what you're putting on that and making sure it's paid off.
Yeah, that's very helpful. One thing I also love is on the credit cards, on different types of credit cards, you can actually categorize different things like online. And I
Yeah.
think that's really cool too, because that can keep you organized during shopping.
Yeah, for sure. And that's really good at the end of the month. If you're kind of testing out your new budget, if it's not just for holiday but ongoing budget, you can kind of see, okay, I spent a little more in this area or less in this area, and you can kind of adjust until you find a budget that works and is realistic for you each month.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So, my last question, what are a few things people can do to access their financial health before heading into the new year? So, we're basically trying to look at, okay, this is what happened in 2024. We need to get ready for 2025. And so, what can we do to help people moving into the new year with new financial goals to help their financial health?
Yeah, so everyone could probably guess the first thing I'm going to say, create a budget.
Yep.
The end of the year is a great time to go back, just spend some time going back through bank statements, or a lot of times if you use like an online mobile banking app, they'll also show you the charts of the most spending, the months with the most spending, things like that. So it's just a really good time to analyze your spending habits over the past 12 months and create a realistic budget moving into 2025. Setting a budget, well, your fixed expenses probably won't change much, but really diving into, okay, what is a realistic budget I can set for eating out, for entertainment, for shopping, for those discretionary things each month. Um, so that goes along with just reviewing the spending. And then this is a great time of year to set financial goals. I
Mhm.
know this time of year we talk a lot about resolutions, but I feel like if you're setting a goal that you're checking in with yourself monthly or quarterly, you're more likely to reach those goals by the end of next year. So, figuring out, do you have a savings goal? Is there something that you really want to buy that you probably need to save up for before just going to buy it? Um, so having, I would say if you don't have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses, assessing your emergency fund and setting a goal to reach that, and then setting back money. Um, have that a part of your budget. I'm going to save X amount of dollars each month so I can reach this goal by this date. Um, and then alongside that, just kind of assess your existing debt, kind of come up with your debt to asset ratio and figure out, okay, do I need to be a little bit more aggressive toward any debt that I do have to get that paid off? And then also just assessing your risk management pieces too, making sure that you and your household are protected when it comes to life insurance, disability income protection, things like that. So if something unexpected does come up, we're protecting ourselves in that aspect as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's just so many different ways to look at our financial fitness and ensure that we're taken care of. Thank you so much for all of those examples and all of your advice. We just
Yeah,
appreciate it so much. Thank you for joining us. We really
yeah,
value your
absolutely.
time. And I know it's getting busy around the holiday season, and you're probably helping lots of people do wonderful things with their finances. And we're just glad that you could join us. So thank you to all of our viewers. I'm going to double check. I don't see that we have any questions in the chat. So I just want to say thank you so much for all being here. And please don't forget to like and follow Curricula Concepts as well as Be Well Care Well on Facebook and Instagram so you don't miss a thing. This has been another Wellbeing Wednesday, and I hope you all have the most wonderful holiday season.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.